We are live. There it is, man. What's up, brother?
How you doing, my man? See ya.
Could be better, bro. Could be better, but you know what? Other than today, it's been okay. What about you, man? It's again, like I said, it's cold in Texas. It's cold in Texas again. Shit.
It's tough. It's tough, especially when you want to see when you expecting to win, and you crossing your fingers, and okay, you line up every player for player. You should
Mhm.
you should be pretty good. I mean, it's just. It, I mean, I think I told you a little bit earlier, man. It's almost embarrassing a little bit, but humbling at the same time. But
Yeah.
it's not. This is not a good feeling. This is not a good feeling to have, especially a former player.
Well, a lot of people, I guess, I don't know if the team was overconfident or something like that, but a lot of people were going kind of into the game thinking, yeah, it's a must win. Yes, their offensive line is banged up. We should be able to capitalize, but man, we didn't get. This is I think this is the very first game that Joe Burrows has not been pressured or hit. That is nuts, man. That just tells you something, man. Right off the bat, that's kind of pathetic. That's kind of sad, especially what we use on the offseason for Clowney and Vic Beasley, and apparently, I mean, it's not showing. The product is not showing, and I don't know where to go with it. I kind of was, last week I was like, don't worry, don't worry about it. Everyone kind of panics, which usually happens. A lot of people start panicking, especially midway in the game. Everyone's panicking, like, oh my God, this game is over. And I'm like, relax, it's still early. I mean, yeah, they had some ugly possessions like that, but then for some reason, man, the team comes out playing flat in the the very beginning. I don't know why they always start off so slow, and it's been a problem for, I feel like, many years, man. I've seen the same old. They kind of come off flat. Usually, they're better, second half team and stuff. But it would be nice for once in a lifetime just to have them start off, boom, like good, strong, and finish through and not have to play kind of catch up. It's nice, don't get me wrong. It is exciting sometimes when you guys we're down halftime and then we start coming back and we're like, oh, here it comes. We're making that run. And then all of a sudden, bam, we're like, uh-oh. We score a touchdown and we're back in the game because the game wasn't too far reach. But then you score a touchdown and then we kick it off and then they run it back for I think it was like a 44. Remember you saw that? It was like a 44-yard. And that kind of just takes like the wind out of you. And you're like, shit, like, man, we were so close. Like, you get me? Like, it looks so good. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, why would, So, again, special teams killed us again. And again, the defense. But we shouldn't be surprised. Again, it's like shame on me, though, because I put too much thought into it. Like, no, I think the defense will start clicking, this and that. And then you start, seeing this game unfold, and you're like, this doesn't look like it's gonna happen. No, run, Mr. Titan. It was downhill after the Tannehill interception. It was, I mean, that Tannehill. I mean, let's talk about that before anything. It's first down. Why are you throwing the ball? Run the ball. Do you have that's like the Seahawks passing it on first and goal with the game on the line. I don't know if it was first and goal, but the Super Bowl when they should have just handed it to Marshawn Lynch, said they started to throw that slant. Why do that? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give it to Henry, let him run it in, and they didn't. Again, people are trade deadline. We need to make moves. People are on the.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. People ain't gonna like the answer, which can't do.
Look, Parrish, I'm lost. I mean, I'm a little lost. I still have a little bit of hope, but again, I'm nervous now watching games because now you have the Colts, they're 5-2 now as well. So now you're like, okay, where are we going with this now? And like I said, I think earlier in the schedule, I said the Colts were going to be always going to be a problem for us, regardless, just because it's the Colts. And they're not that bad. A lot of people are saying Phillip Rivers doesn't have it, but they put on, I think, like 41 points. They look good today. All right. The offensive line is nice. What are your thoughts? Again, sorry if you guys haven't. I didn't like do any like introductions and stuff. I was just kind of pissed and stuff. But
it's how it's been today. It's how it's been. It's been one of those days, man.
Again, welcome, guys. If you guys haven't like, share, subscribe, please do. I'm Alex. This is my buddy Gerald Mcrath. We're gonna talk about, unfortunately, the Tennessee Titans lost to the Bengals. 31-20 was the final. Again, we came out flat. Titans came out very flat in the beginning. Thought we were gonna pick up some steam in the second half, and it looked like it for a little bit, but that defense was still, they didn't show up. But again, the whole team didn't show up. I'm not gonna only blame the defense. Yeah, the defense was a big part, but again, everyone played flat. So he said, Ryan Walker said the get right game turned out to be anything but. Absolutely. Get right.
Big facts. The get right.
Get right. Didn't work. So
I mean, it's always positive. It's always negatives. So I mean, it sucks, guys. It sucks, man. It sucks because you don't want to lose to a rookie quarterback in the league. But I mean, one thing I definitely can tell you, I've watched a lot of his games. The kid's legit. Joe Burrow is legit. He's legit. And if there is anything that you can't hang your head on, held him under 250 yards, which the kid was going for over 300 to 400 yards a game, multiple touchdowns. The biggest thing that is still plaguing us Titans are third downs and not getting off the field on third down and not getting our ball back into the hands of Derrick Henry, Tannehill, and letting those guys do what they do best, which if you guys remember, I want to say, was that the second half drive where we just ran the ball down their throat? Just every play was a run. Oh, old school football, Derrick Henry lined up 8 yards back deep, and you can kind of see guys, you can kind of see secondary guys, they kind of were coming in. They didn't know if they wanted to come full speed or not. And you saw Derrick Henry start falling for, an extra 3, an extra 4, extra 5. I mean, like, golly, what we can do when everything is clicking and working together. I think what Vrabel was talking about last year, just playing complementary football, across the board from special teams to offense and defense. Man, it can be nice. Derrick Henry stats for the day: 18 carries, 112 yards.
Yeah, and we still lost.
6.2. Jeremy Nichols, four carries, 49 yards, averaging 12.2. You had Foreman came in, 5 carries, 37 yards, 7.4. Guys, like, come on, man. Like, you run the game, when you have a running game like this, you don't expect to be on the other end of the scoreboard. And so, that just goes to show you, had 1 turnover. We didn't get any turnovers.
Yep.
No sacks. Bro,
I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed. I took my kids Halloween candy and started eating shit.
I mean, I'm like, you came in like, okay, I can understand Watson. Deshaun, when we played Houston, he had been sacked probably top 5 in the league. They were giving up some of the most sacks. Okay, well, I can understand not getting him on the ground. But Joe Burrow had been sacked the most out of anybody. But we didn't get no sacks today. Like, no.
He didn't get hit. Like I said, he did not get hit this game.
That's depressing. I mean, that's that's depressing. You know, like that is depressing. That is depressing.
And like Ryan Walker says, they were missing 4 of their offensive line starters. Not 1, not 2, 4.
Ryan, I had texted him that earlier today. I've been talking about that all week. I mean, when I saw the injury report and the inactives, and I saw they were missing 4. Okay, granted, that those everybody in the league. I mean, they're in the league for a reason, but I mean, you're also a backup for a reason as well.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, you're backing up because you're probably not as good as the starter. You just you haven't developed where you need to be. And I'm just like, man, this is not the game that you should have a breakout game.
No, and no pressure. And there's the only game this season that Joe Burrows has not been hit. That's okay. I understand the sack, but not been pressured or hit.
Because I've been watching this kid. This kid is tough. I've seen this kid, man. Was it the Pittsburgh game? He took a hit. I'm talking about a hit early in the season, and I said to a buddy of mine, I said, okay, this is when we're really going to see, or this is when I'm really going to see, okay, what this kid is really made of. And for him to get up and continue to throw the ball, stand in the pocket, and deliver passes, I mean, that showed me, I'm like, man, this kid is tough. I mean, I look at Aaron Donald, I'm looking at him, or was it Sam Darnold over with the Jets? He get hits and he's done. He's done. You go back to the Monday night clip, I'm seeing ghosts. So, this kid that we played against, man, I mean, he's the future. I mean, he's definitely the future of the organization. You're playing in Cincinnati. Everything that you hear up in Cincy is that they are just high praise for this guy, and they understand that the future is the rebuild is going to be quicker than what they expected, especially when you got Tyler Boyd, Higgins that's coming on. We got AJ. Then today we find out they got another receiver in Tate.
Yep.
I'm sitting out here looking like, who is this?
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, they're just popping out, man. They're like gremlins, man. They're just kept on coming out of nowhere. Now we have a question. My friend Ty Nuplo wants to ask: has any team that he knows of hired a coordinator during the season on good teams? Asking for a friend. Laugh out loud. Has any teams that he knows of hired a coordinator during the season on good teams? We need
maybe not a coordinator, but you could get like a consultant. You can get almost like a quality control, somebody that can kind of come in and analyze and kind of help break down your own self scouting. It might just be somebody that gives you an extra eye throughout,
relieves a little bit of the pressure, kind of not.
They're watching film, they're looking at things that you're looking at, and it might be somebody you come and say, okay, hey, what are you seeing from me? It's like, well, hey, this is what it seems like you're doing a lot of this on third down. You might want to mix it up. So sometimes you can get somebody like that. It's got to be somebody that the organization and the coaching staff that you really trust, and talking in with information like that. But the whole thing with the season in the NFL, and I know we're gonna get into this trade thing, but I mean, once you start, you ride it with what you got. You know what I mean? The off season is the off season for a reason, but once the season comes in, because it's such a long marathon to get through that, any tweaks and changes, you're talking about routine and teaching and making sure guys are comfortable knowing what they need to do, and you can throw all of that stuff off. But I mean, we'll, as we get on in the program, it's not the play call. It's not the play calling. And I thought it was the play calling. I thought some of it was the play calling. I didn't say anything because I want to make sure. I want to make sure that I'm looking at the ins and outs, from different standpoints before I make a judgment.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not the play call. It's not the play call, and we can get in there a little bit earlier. It's execution of the play call. It's execution, and you can see it. Anybody that knows ball, wow, they're actually having. I mean, it's some great play calls in there. It's just like, crap, get the guy on the ground, get the sack, or it's.
So you think it's just the players not committing and following through? There was one time, like we talked about earlier, where they almost sacked him. It was like 3 players, and he just got out of it, and you're just like, and the same thing. There's one that Parrish said, which this one upsetted me. They went for it on 4th down, and he had so much time in the pocket. And you know what? At one point, you can't blame the secondary because there's only so much you can cover someone, especially for like 10, 15 seconds where the guy had all day to throw. He moved out of the pocket, stepped in the pocket, and just like tossed it. And there was a guy dead center. Again, you gotta get to him.
And the problem that you get when you start dealing with multiple games like this is that you start getting guys, especially you get guys who feel like, man, I got to do more than what I'm already asked. And then, so sometimes you'll get a guy that is pressing to do a little bit more because he feels like he's got to compensate, in other areas instead of the trust, which I can't believe I'm saying that, the trust between all 3 levels from D-line to LBs to DBs is there, and you guys are playing on one accord. And you just I saw some uncharacteristic things. Like I think when Shamaze P. Ryan scored, and I saw those missed tackles. I saw Byard give up a missed tackle. I'm like, man, that's not
him. Yep.
Definitely not. Characteristic of him, but you don't know. You start feeling pressed, man. You start like I'm telling you, like I know those you got some leaders in that group that are pissed off. They are pissed off to a core. But I mean, it's gonna take some soul searching, man, to get this fixed.
Yeah,
because like I said, a lot of it's not play calling. Because I think we talked about it last week. We were showing all our blitzes, and Pittsburgh Steelers came and they ran. They were running slants behind us.
Tighten up, Josh. Sorry about that. Go on.
So this week you saw a lot of that, but they were dropping guys out. And you saw guys matching up routes, from the inside linebacker position. They were matching up those underneath routes, those dig routes, those slant routes. And so, they're being taught, they're being coached. It's just the execution. And then, like I was saying, when the ball's thrown, like we're not getting guys on the ground, man. Like I watched the Pittsburgh. I was going through like 4 games today, and you watch Steelers play Baltimore. And this is one thing I'll say to Titans fan. Yeah, we lost to Pittsburgh, but Baltimore didn't move the ball like the Titans moved like the Titans moved the ball on Pittsburgh. So we have just letting you guys know, like Lamar didn't move the ball up and down the field and on those boys. And so, man, we got a squad. But we're not playing complimentary football. And so, it's got to, man, everything's got to come together. But man, that was
that one was hard to swallow. That was a hard loss just because the way we played, you can tell the team wasn't in it and stuff like that. And some people are saying that we need a defensive coordinator. We'll get into that in a little bit later. And what Mike Rabel said on the press conference basically said that he's good with calling the plays. And I was like, I don't know if that's just being a little bit arrogant or just being prideful. Who knows? Some of the third downs, we need to show some heart. I don't even know, because you know what? Sometimes they play a little soft when it comes to third down. I feel like if you throw a little disguise, a little bit of blitz here and there just to kind of throw them off, but we kind of play, off the man. But again, I'm not a football player, so that's my opinion. Is like a cow's opinions. It's a moot point. But other than that, let's talk about the statistics and stuff, because here's when we break down the game. All right, man. So we're gonna go with the Tennessee Titans, ladies and gentlemen. Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill was 18 for 30 with 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. A lot of people were saying that he was having a bad game. To me, in my opinion, I don't think he had a bad game. I mean, yeah, he threw an ugly pick, which kind of changed the game a little bit, especially when we needed a touchdown. But I think he recuperated a little bit better, and he made a little bit of tough throws. He threw a couple of balls to A.J. Brown where A.J. Brown could have attacked the ball a little bit instead of letting the ball come to him. And again, they were a little underthrown as well. So here and there. Derrick Henry, 18 carries, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. Again, this is the one game, because every time Derrick Henry breaks 100 yards, I think we're 16-0 or something. This is the one game where we lost. Okay, Corey Davis showed up though. Corey Davis, man. That toe drag, that touchdown, 8 receptions, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, Corey Davis is doing it, so he's impressed me a lot, and I like his ability just to go for the ball, man. He's a different maker, especially this year. Okay, now on the other side we have Joe Burrow, 26 for 37, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns. You have Giovanni Bernard, he had 15 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown. You got T. Higgins, 6 receptions, 78 yards. Again, they had a good mix, but again, their offense, helped them out. The offensive line, like we said before, he didn't get touched. He didn't get pressured. That could be also the Titans as well. And here's the stats for the game. Total first downs, we had 27-27, so we're good on that. Third down, here's the big thing, guys. Third down, we went 5 for 9. Not good. The Bengals went 10 for 15. Penalty-wise, Titans were 7 for 68 yards. Bengals were 7 for 45 yards. Time of possessions for the Titans were 24, with the Bengals a little bit over 36 minutes. Now let's talk about third down efficiencies. I feel like we talk about that all the time, but until it gets fixed, that's what we're going to be talking about. And then we'll talk about the penalties, because there was 2 questionable penalties in this game, which again, a lot of people are saying, hey, those penalties, if it wasn't for those penalties, but regardless of those penalties, we should have never been in that position. We should have, you get what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't come down to, the game was lost because of the penalty. Now, if you were like the Saints and that pass interference that happened, how many 3 years ago? Like, that's a different maker. Yes, that's playing as as anyone can see. But so third down, man, what's up with this team? Did you see it improve a little bit, or it's still getting the same credit as last week?
It's a mixture. Like, it is a mixture of not making a tackle, maybe D lineman, not getting off a block and containing, a contain rush, or spot tackles, like especially when we're playing off coverage, we're playing off coverage in with our corners, and they throw the ball short, the first down marker, and we're not getting them on the ground right then. So it's just like it's mixed. It's just pick your poison. Who's going to make a mistake? I watch the Saints and the Bears. And the difference between what I'm seeing is Bears defense and what I'm seeing from this defense this year is just the consistency across the board. Yeah, they know what they're going to give up, but they're not going to let you get anything more than that. You're going to have to earn every single yard. And this was a Titans defense last year. I mean, this is what we've known with the Tennessee Titans. I mean, Tennessee Titans. I mean, even back in the Fisher days, when they first got. I mean, you gonna play great defense, and so this is a lot of this is uncharacteristic. But then you go back and you say, okay, well, you got Clowney came first week. And then you got Beasley, who didn't, he just now got in the rotation. Kamala Correa asked for the trade, so you lose a valuable piece in rotation. And we just had that. You don't have Amari. Does Amari solve everything on the back end?
Absolutely not.
It don't. But if you guys watch the game, the league is about mixed matches. And if you guys kept watching who they were mixed match, I mean, they were going to Joseph. Like, you can talk about Butler all we want, but Butler is scrappy. Butler's making you earn every last thing, every last yard. Butler is making you earn it. And if you get something on him, he's getting you on the ground. The touchdown that we gave up, I was just lost. I mean, I was lost. I was lost. It just. And then they got Tate. They lining Tate up on him. 6'5" receiver going up on him, making catch. I mean, it was tough. It was tough. And then one of those pass interference, I thought he played the ball perfect and going vertically. They threw the pass interference, but if you watch it, he really didn't touch him. And he just played like, I thought he did a great job. I mean, in watching games, I've seen calls go all over the board. So, I just.
So Gerald, hear me out. So what do you think about that? Okay, let's talk about the penalties now, right? Let's talk about the penalty. Obviously, everyone wants to talk about the Butler penalty, but let's talk about the Adam Humphries where
that was crazy to me. That's crazy to me because you throw it on Carl, and I thought Vaccaro,
you saw that, right?
Legit. I thought his was legit. I thought he was making a tackle. He wasn't going for the head. It was a bang bang play. You had two Bengals defender hit this man in the head before he ever hit the ground. That was mind-boggling to me that you did not throw a flag there. But then midway, while he's still on the ground, you want to come back and say, "Oh, well, after reviewing,
yeah, he didn't catch the ball." I was like, "Damn,
get out of here, man! Yeah. Get out of here, hey, man! You hit that to me. He should have been kicked out. He should have been thrown out the game. That was terrible. Terrible. I mean,
that was a horrible call, man. Yeah. Again, that kind of reminded me of last year with Khalif Raymond in the Saints game. Remember, and they didn't call it on him. Khalif Raymond was out cold. It could have changed that whole game. We were driving. I don't know if we were going to tie the game or take the lead. I don't really remember. I know that we were driving, though, and they said it was a fumble. Obviously, he's unconscious. Like, come on. And they just gave it to him. There was no flag whatsoever. So that's what it kind of reminded me back. It was like a flashback of that. And I was just, again, it sucked, man. People are saying, they said bring back the efficiencies. I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll do that. Now let's talk about the bad flag on Butler. So again,
another thing before you go to that, another thing, if we get that penalty, and the reason why that penalty, the non-call for Humphries was so huge, if you get that penalty, I think the ball was around the 50-yard line. You possibly could have gotten in field goal range, could have made the game. The game could have been 13-14 going into the half. So you're down 1 point, versus being down, 10. So I mean, it is what it is. But I thought that was huge not calling that because they were trying to get in field goal range if he would have caught the ball.
So again, let's talk about the Butler play. So they don't call a pass interference or targeting or anything to the Adam Humphries situation, but they call a pass interference on Malcolm Butler. Unfortunately, it looked like in the play that was happening, it looked like Jayon Brown made that catch, that play before Malcolm Butler even reached. That's just my opinion. That's what I saw. I kind of slowed it down, and it looked like Jayon Brown beat that before that happened. So the play should have never occurred. That should have never happened. The penalty should have never happened. What do you think about that?
I mean, honestly, in watching that, I thought they were calling it on Johnson Joseph. I was like, God,
they were picking on him today.
I did. I thought they were calling it on him, but his guy actually slipped. But and then going, in what you're saying, once the defender makes contact on the ball, there's no pass interference. So if a quarterback throws the ball and the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, there is no pass interference there. So I thought Jayon Brown had made contact with the ball before Butler's contact even occurred. And so that was a ticky tack call. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
again, it could have gave us, completely momentum. I mean, I'm not saying we would have won the game, but it would have gave us a little bit closer chance. I mean, again, just because these penalties didn't go our way doesn't mean we should never put ourselves in that position. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it was us against the refs." Yeah, there were some bad calls, but we play a little bit better. We don't come out as flat as we usually do.
Get off on third down. You have
exactly get off the field on third down. There's some bullshit calls, but at the end of the day, we have DeMario. What's up, man? What's up, family? The physical ability of Adoree will make the difference. He can press and run with wide receivers. So those easy pitch and catch on Joseph shouldn't happen against Adoree. Well, here's the thing with a lot of people don't realize Jonathan Joseph. Sorry, I just ate a Twix and got stuck on the top of my tooth. So the thing with Jonathan Joseph is that he's not supposed to be, your 1 or 2 guy. He's supposed to be that 4th guy. So he's filling in for obviously Adoree. He's not supposed to get that many reps. And he's an older guy. As you can tell, he gets beat quite often. So a lot of people are giving him crap. But again, it's kind of like the next man up. Unfortunately, I mean, his age, his position, it is hard because I can't run with these guys, and I'm 30. You get what I'm saying? So that's the position I feel bad for Joseph, but at the same time, man, people were getting on him. Oh my God, people were.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get on him hard. Like you got Christian Fulton was out. So, yeah. And then was Todd Smith? I think Todd Smith was inactive as well.
Yeah, he was. I think he was. Yeah, his shoulder, I believe.
So
we're limited.
Rotation, man.
We're limited.
Rotation and where you want him, you can't get him where you want him. Like you might, you could put him on. You could rotate where you put him. And you can make the matchups harder, especially for a rookie quarterback. That's one of the biggest things that, not having Adoree in, it just eliminates like how you want to do certain things. You know what I mean? Like you can't really play to certain guy's strength because you're just trying to make sure we got enough guys that can play on the field and get going. So I mean, it hurts, man. It hurts. It definitely hurts. You can't send Adoree to the number 1 guy. You couldn't put Adoree. Let's say we're going to just put Adoree on Tyler Boyd, and then we'll let everybody else fend for whatever we need to do. And then at halftime, let's say, hey, we're going to make adjustment. We'll put Malcolm Butler on whoever the next guy they're targeting the most. But you can't even go in at halftime and do that. You just playing with guys that you got. It sucks. It sucks. And that's why you would hope that the pass rush and getting off the field on third downs would feel like the emphasis with the guys, not with the coaches. Coaches are doing their job, but with the guys on the field to have a sense of urgency. Because I can tell you one thing, man. I played with Keith Bullitt, and I'll never forget this. We were playing in Dallas. We were playing in Dallas. It was a preseason game, and there was a call. It was a third down call. It was like some type of man call. And there's a certain type of leverage that you have to play. And one of the new guys got in, and he didn't play the right leverage. And they got first down. And when they got off the field, Keith Bullitt, he let him have it on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? Because he understood the importance of getting off the field on third downs on defense. The longer that you're out there on the defense, the longer that you're giving the offense an opportunity to score or figure out a way to score. So, that you don't panic. I'm never the one to panic. And that's why, last week I was like, hey, it's not the end of the world. You got to get, they got to get the practice and communication. But it has to be a sense of urgency throughout that whole, the players, coaches, everybody on that defensive side. That has to be a point of emphasis.
Definitely. Matt Moon says Adam Humphries may never be the same after that. I think he will. He probably didn't remember it, but still, it was a scary sight to see. You never want to see a player or stuff like that go down like that. Should be down 10-1, win a team at all. We're 6.5 favorites over Chicago. As of right now, don't. That's the thing. I don't even look at those, man. I don't even look at those because those things are like bait traps. Again, we're gonna have to buckle up, man, because it only gets tougher, right? So the next couple games we have, man, listen to this. We have the Bears, where the defense is gonna give us some trouble, man. That defense is nasty. We have the Colts, the first division game, and that might be that's going to be a toss-up of whoever gets number one spot in the AFC South right there. Then you got the Ravens. And then you play the Colts again. And then you play the Browns. And don't get me wrong, the Browns they're not the team we played last year. The Ravens, they have us marked down on our schedule since we whipped their ass last year. They have that circled. They want that revenge game. And guess what? In the offseason, they got that defense juiced up just for us.
You got to get. We're talking about. You're talking about point of emphasis for his defense getting off the field, man. Shoot, you want to? It ain't no game I want to play. Well, I'm playing against Phillip Rivers. I'm playing against Lamar Jackson, and I'm not getting off the field on third down.
Exactly.
And we talked about this before we started. Even Nick Foles. You know what I mean? Because, he is not like he does not have weapons. Chicago, you got Allen Robinson.
Robinson's
Moody. So,
Jimmy Graham.
Graham, and Moody is a deep, he's a Khalif Raymond type guy. He can take the top off. And you got a guy in Allen Robinson who the past two games he's felt like he has not been targeted the way that he needed to give his team a chance to win. That kid. It's shoot.
And then we have Jimmy Graham, which we never do good with tight ends. We fail to cover tight ends. I don't know what it is. We can't do it. We can't. So again, we can't take the Bears lightly. Okay, this stretch is basically a make or break, man. This is a make or break. This is This is it, man. This is what it's about.
This is the way you. This is this is what you want. You want to earn it, because at the end of the day, you don't want anybody to ever say, oh, well, who did they play? They gave them wins. They didn't play nobody. Okay, well, this is that stretch right here hey, you're going to show, it's going to be put up or shut up. It's going to be put up or shut up.
So you said already that it wasn't coaching. That's not the blame. What do you think? Is it the pass rush? Is it the secondary? The secondary can do so much. It's just the whole defense in general.
Yeah,
now it's the whole defense.
You can't put blame on one person. As soon as you put blame on one person, then, if you go back and you watch the tape, well, okay, he shouldn't have had that much time to throw the ball. You got to look at some of these, the passes and things that got off. I'm like, golly, he's got forever to throw the ball. And so you're going to blame the cornerbacks? You can't blame the cornerbacks. You can blame the pass rush. But then for the short throws, when the ball comes out and we don't spot tackle, you can't blame the pass rush because they're not, they're doing their job. You got to blame the back end for not tackling. So, it's still complimentary football. Everybody's got to play on the same page, and everybody has to play on the same page for the entire game. Because one thing about being on defense, all 10 guys can do exactly what they need to do. If one person on defense does not do what they need to do or what they're supposed to do, it's going to be a big play. It is what it is. So, the whole defense has to tighten up. Whole defense has to tighten up. And then coming back, Vrabel saying he can take care of it. I believe he can take care of it. I believe it. Coach is coach, but
you don't think that's him being a little bit of prideful and stuff like that?
No, because whatever he's calling still has to get executed. You still got to execute.
Right. Okay, correct. Okay.
So you still got. So even if we had Dean Pease back, okay, Dean Pease is putting up this amazing pass rush and things of that nature. If they don't execute it, then what? Dean Pease can't go out there and make no tackles.
I get what you're saying. You
know what I mean? Like guys got. You got to step up. You got to challenge. You got to challenge some of these throws. You know what I mean? We letting guys catch the ball in front of us, and they're getting yards at the catch. We letting people do what AJ Brown does to everybody else.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we can't do that. The run defense has been for this year has been pretty good outside of with Dalvin Cook with the Vikings, but he's been kind of lighting up everybody. So you kind of understand that. So the rush defense has been pretty good, pretty solid. But man, we got to tighten up on this pass defense, man. Across the board, from pass rush to covering down the field to spot tackling in the open field, and then just challenging guys, man. Challenging guys.
Oh, call. Yeah. You don't want to answer that? You sure you're good? So again, what's up, King Isaac? What's up, bro? So again, I think you answered this already. You said what people are asking about the lack of defensive coordinator. A lot of people on Twitter were going straight to, oh, this is what happens with no defensive coordinator. This is what happens when you have, the coach, calling the plays, this and that. You think it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with all execution. It comes down to the players. Because you made a good example, though. You said, yeah, you can have Dean Pease in there, but if Dean Pease is not going to go out and tackle people, which I understand that completely. So you don't think it's any of that. No. It just comes down to execution.
Not until I can see them get beat, just get physically beat by being in a bad call. I haven't seen a call. I haven't seen the guys get beat. Like, oh man, like I'm sitting there saying, oh man, that's a bad call. That's tough. Mm-hmm. That's tough to defend versus this. I haven't seen that. You look at as many third down opportunities we get, then we got to be doing. They got to be doing something right to get in third down. Mm-hmm. Just can't get off the field, but they're getting in the third down. See, it would be a problem if you're not getting third downs because team are just moving the ball down your throat. We're getting in third and double digits. Like, man, at some point, man, players got to play.
Yeah.
I mean, players got to play. And that's coming from a former player. Like, you got to sit up and play. You got to execute and do your job. You got to physically be better than the person in front of you. And I mean, and sometimes it just comes down to that. So, until I see them lose a game where I'm just looking and saying, man, dang, man, they just put them in a bad position all game long. I can't blame the coaching. I'm like I said, I'm putting on the consistency on the defense and the consistency of all three groups playing together, from the secondary to the linebacking core to the D line, to all of those guys play consistently together and trust one another. Vrabel's track record speaks for itself. I'm not questioning that now. I mean, I know he knows defense. So, the fundamentals and things of that nature, when you're a coach, that doesn't change. And you got to think he's been at Houston, so he's been a part of great defenses and things of that nature. So it's not like it ain't like we got a coach that's just off the street.
Gotcha. It makes sense. And again, like we talked about it last week, it also comes down to everything clicking on every side of the ball, on offense, defense, special teams. And again, it was special teams and defense that was kind of biting us in the ass. In the beginning, we moved the ball. We were moving. The offense was moving the ball. We gave Derrick Henry was rolling down people. He was gaining yards. It was nice. The flow was nice. But then you get into situations, man, where you throw a bad interception in the end zone, or you don't block, you don't do this, and it starts getting ugly. Penalties will start getting holds, and you start going backwards instead of going forwards, and that always kills a drive. Penalties always kill a drive, regardless of what happens. Penalties always kill drives. So yeah, I understand. We just got to be on the same level, synced on offense, defense, special team. Lately, our special teams have been a little rough, man. And that's something we excel at all the time, and special teams has been rough. And then after that, it just, again, like I talked about last week, it's like a domino effect, bro. It just keeps going. It just, the special teams goes down, then defense, it's been down, and then offense go down, and then, so we all have to click on the same level. You have to play all three phases, man. You have to win all those battles, and unfortunately, we haven't. And this is where we're at. It's not bad. We're 5-2 now. Don't get me wrong. If I said in the beginning of the season, "Hey, we're 5-2," midway through, what week is this? I don't even know anymore. But whatever week we are, week 9. So if I said, "Hey, we're 5-2 at week 9," I've been like. And I looked at our schedule, I would have been like, maybe, yeah, we might have lost. I would have picked, yeah, Minnesota, we could have lost. The Steelers game, we could have lost. But losing to the Bengals, Steelers, but the Bengals, come on now. Damn rookie. But again, that's football, man. Any given Sunday, a team shows up. The Titans look like they didn't want to play today, It was like the opposite record, man. It looked like the Titans were 1-5 and the Bengals were 5-1. So
energy.
The energy, man. And it's all about momentum and stuff. And we just, again, we came out flat, playing flat. It just didn't look good. So what are you gonna do, man? Let's see. Sonny says the blame is on everyone, on every offense, defense, special teams, coaching, everyone. We need to make our kicks. We need to wrap up and tackle. We need to leave Ryan more time for our guys to get open. He's not wrong. Absolutely not. But again, there were some plays that Tannehill threw that was kind of underthrown and stuff like that. He doesn't usually overthrow, but he does underthrow a couple times. But again, AJ Brown has to attack the ball, not let the ball come to him sometimes, just a little bit. But other than that, he's still balling out. I love watching him play. He's such a it's so nice to see like an actual wide receiver, and it's so weird because we haven't had one since God knows how long. So it's nice.
We had 218 rushing yards.
That's still mind blowing, huh?
Just, you know what I mean? Like, I want to say offense. I do. But I mean, if I'm just being real and I'm being honest, as a defensive player, man, I didn't give them the ball. I look at what they did and say, shoot, as a defensive player, I didn't give you guys enough opportunities. Clearly, I mean, it just, I mean, to me, that's where it goes. That's where it goes for me. You know what I mean? Like no turnovers. We didn't create any turnovers. So,
No.
you know, I might look at it a little bit different. I definitely agree. You know, when you, as a team, you win as a team, you're gonna lose as a team. Everybody together. But I'm just saying, man, as a man, and you know, if I'm on that defensive side, man, we gotta get this. We gotta get this thing rolling.
Are you still rolling with our kicker? I know you said that you had to give him confidence in that. I mean, he missed one, right? But everyone, it's funny though. Like everyone praises a kicker, right? Or praises a player when they do good. But the minute they do bad, man, it's like, damn. So,
all right.
But again, it was a little windy. I have to give him that. It was a lot windy, you know.
This whole weekend has been.
All the games were. Did you see the Browns game?
It
was going sideways. The snow was going sideways. Like, what was that?
So yeah, I'm riding, man. I'm riding with him until you can tell me you're gonna find somebody else out there. You know? You ride with him.
All right. So let's get to what final thought of the game, positive, negative. What did you see that was the negatives that we still need to clean up, which I probably know what you're going to say, and what is the positive that you saw coming from this game? There has to be positive. It's always positive.
It's always positive, man.
Always.
That negative, man, third downs, of course.
Yeah.
Not making the rookie uncomfortable. None. I just felt like he was on the couch. Like I'm sitting right now. I feel like the way he played all game. So that was definitely a letdown that we couldn't take advantage for with them having 4 offensive linemen out. So I thought that was negative, just a missed opportunity. And so the third down, that's everything. You know, you get off the field third down, then you go into the positive that I have that the offense run game, they still show that when they got to move the ball down the field, they can move the ball down the field. Whether it's running ball, you know, they can get the thing move, but you got to give them opportunities. You know what I mean? So, you know, the next positive that I think is huge is the game that Corey Davis had, because God damn it, it's about time. It's about time that he had a game like this, and it's good to see him being able to do this consistently. And I thought he had a lot of great possession catches. Thought some of his routes that he ran, you know, he was running a lot of one-man routes, you know, match protect. So, I mean, he was like the only options. His ability to get open and to come down with those catches, I thought that was huge. I mean, I just thought it was huge, not only for his confidence, but also for Arthur Smith just to continue to game plan and add him as a weapon. And we all know, you know, you lost Adam Humphries, you know, and you don't know, you know, we don't know when he'll come back. You know, you know, you have no idea. And first and foremost, you know, prayers and thoughts out to him and his family, and hope that he recovers well. But guys are going to have to step up. So it was a great positive to see Corey Davis come out with, you know, with those 8 catches over 148 yards, 148 or something like that.
It was. He had 8 receptions for 128 yards with the touchdown. Yeah, he was. He was nice, man. He was. You know what? What do you think? You think the Titans at the end of the year are they going to extend him? No, he's going to be too much. I think someone's going to try to snatch him.
Oh man, because my biggest thing was that he also blocks as well. He's a big body, you know. So he's a physical guy. And then going into the last positive, man, I thought Jeremy Nichols stepped in big and Foreman stepped in big.
Foreman was nice.
I think one of the biggest things that we had always been talking about, and people wondered with Darrington Evans not being there, you know, who was going to spell Derrick Henry. And I thought these two guys came in and I thought they did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. I think they add a different dynamic to it. They also can catch out the backfield, which is also nice. So shoot. Defense, we got to get it on. Special teams got to pick it up. Current, Bo, you know, I feel sorry for Bo. That's a bad snap. You know, appreciate Kern for getting them on the ground. Not get them on the ground, but golly, man, special teams got to pick it up. Defense got to get off the field. Third down, man, got to get off the field. I won't turnovers, but I'd rather just get off the field on third down.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Like, would you rather have turnovers or would you rather get off third down? Like third down all day. I think that's
third down all day, especially when we moved the ball the way we moved it today. Want that run? Golly, man, it's to see Derrick Henry lined up 8 yards deep and 21 personnel. That's sexy, man. I love it. I love it. That's old school football, man. I love it, man. So deep, man. We just gotta pick it up, man. Got to pick it up, and I think this is gonna be a old school gritty type game for Chicago.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna be a low scoring game, something like maybe like 17-14, something like that. Something it's gonna be all about. Oh my God. Say defense. It's going to be about defense. But again, you know, we kind of play down to our opponent sometimes. Look at the Steelers game in the second half. I mean, where was that defense? You get me? I mean, that's not the defense that showed up today.
Better not play down with that Chicago defense because they ain't playing. None of them. And I guarantee you it will be opponent emphasis for ball security this week. I guarantee you. I'm pretty sure they are going to harp on ball security.
Has to be. So again, that is your final thoughts. Anything you want to say before we head out of here? Anything you want to say to Titan Nation? Anything like that? I mean, it's been a good crowd. Thank you guys so much for posting and interacting. It's always great. Thank you, Josh, Sonny, Sean, Al Pierce, King Isaac, all you guys for coming on and talking. George, I do appreciate it. It's always fun. Ryan wants to know when is Scott Novak being fired. Disgrace. I'm telling you,
it is just brutal, man. We still 5-2, guys. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's one thing we have to think about like this, guys. Okay, we're 5-2. Yeah, the past 2 games were kind of ugly, but again, you gotta stick with the team, right? You gotta stick with the team, and just stick with them, man. That's all we can do. Root for them and try not to be so negative. Twitter can be really, really harsh and so.
Oh man, it was tough. I know it was tough, y'all. I know it was tough because I'm sitting there like, oh man, like if I was a player, I'd be so embarrassed right now.
Well, I think most of them like having like tweeted or anything. I mean, they're probably
these guys. They're embarrassed.
Yeah,
they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed. It's a lot. Some of them may not be, but the majority of them, they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed for that, for what was, because at the end of the day, anytime you put film or you play a game, that's your resume. That's your resume that you're leaving out there.
Definitely. And this is my buddy right here. he called me after the show because he put tightened up. He's a Dolphin fan. He's like, "Oh my god, what the hell am I doing?" So hey, the Dolphins showed up though. The
That
Dolphins
defense
showed up.
showed up.
Yeah, that defense
showed up. That's man.
Shit, they whoop some ass. But again, there's Al Pierce. Let's go bear hunting. Exactly. It's on to the Bears, man. On to the Bears, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Tighten up or shut up. Exactly. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ride with this team, and then that's the only thing you can do, man. Again, hell, all love. There you go, Mario. But again, thank you guys so much for showing up. We better show up next week. I can't take another loss next week. I mean, I hope so. I hope we win. I really do. But again, this is not it's not an easy team. This is the Bears are not going to be just walk in the park. Their defense is on point. We have to be on point. We have to come out with energy. We can't play flat. We can't play flat like we did because it's going to be a long game, man. It's going to be a long game. And then we'll end up here, and I'm going to eat some Twix again and some Kit Kats and Butterfingers and shit. And my kid's going to be pissed off at me because I keep eating. This is called angry eating, man. That's what happens.
You're gonna be happy eating next week. Go ahead.
Exactly. There we go. And then after that, we play the Colts, and that's the game we'll be at. So maybe we'll do a post game, maybe together in Nashville. I have to figure out. Maybe I'll bring my laptop and we'll do something like that. That'll be dope. All right, not losing 2 in a row at home this year. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here. He's got to go do stuff. I got to go take care of an angry kid that's probably ate a bunch of candy and shit. But again, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, Gerald, for coming on again. And like we always say, man, tighten up, buddy, all right?
Tighten up, guys.
Tighten up.
See you guys.